Welcome everybody. Welcome to Learn Psych Online. Today we are going to be learning Psych 102, which is and we are going to be learning with neurotransmitter. Today we will not be the one doing it. Today's video was sponsored by a great man called Genti. Genti is contesting for the SUG 004 for AUA. Is contest for the SUG 004 for AUA. Please vote for him. Anticipate canvas for him. Is the best leader for this post because even without being already being at the post, he's already doing what he's saying. He's already doing everything he said he's going to do. Some leaders is just when they start when they are on the spot, that's why they start doing it. But before he's on his post, he's already doing his work. Please vote for him. He's the great leader for that post. Okay, let's dive into today's topic, neurotransmitter.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Abraham Ansah. I am in psychology department 300 level. So I would like to appreciate the fact that you even take your time to listen to these voice notes, and thank you very much. I pray the Lord will grant us understanding of this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. So first thing first, let's talk about neurotransmission. I'll try as much as possible so that this record will not be too long. So let's just deal with it as fast as possible. I will appreciate it if you can get your notes so that we'll read it together and you'll be able to understand better. While I read, you follow, so it will be easy for you than just listening without seeing it. It's because learning very fast, it deals with hearing and seeing. So let's just leave that. So according to the definition that Dr. Mrs. Ogungbamila gave you guys, he said neurotransmission simply means transfer of information to the brain. She said neuron has to do with the brain, while transmission means to transfer. Neurotransmission is therefore defined as the transmission of nerve impulses between a neuron and a muscle fiber. So I think the definition is even straightforward. What you have to do is remember what transmission means and remember what neuron means. If you can remember these two, then you should also remember that there is messages or impulses or signal, anyone you can call it. The three are correct. Impulses, messages or signals, they pass impulses or they pass messages across the body, in and out of the body. So neurotransmissions, they are neurons that passes information into the body and outside the body. So they are the one that transfer messages, okay, let me say, from the sense organs to the brain, and from the brain back to the sense organs, from the sense organs to the brain, and from the brain to the sense organs. So that's just what neurotransmission is all about. It transfer impulses, messages from the sense organs to the brain, and from this brain to the sense organs. Or you can say that from the sense organs to the central nervous system, because the central nervous system deals with the brain and the spinal cord. You can say it transforms the neurotransmissions. They are neurons, they are neurons that transfer impulses from the sense organs to the central nervous system, and from the central nervous system to the sense organs, or to the body. So it's just like that. So we have two types of neurotransmitter. Please note that these neurotransmitters, they are not limited to the sense organs alone. Like, I mean, they even deals with the movements that you take, walking or doing anything. They are also the one that still passes the informations that walk, stand, do this and that. So types of neurotransmission, we have chemical and electrical. For you to understand this, you can search for the picture or the image of a neurotransmitter. If you can get it, then you will see where the axon is, the terminal axon, the cell body. So if you can get this, you'll be able to understand where the messages, the impulses changes from electrical neurotransmitter, where it changes to chemical neurotransmitter. When the messages enters, it enters as electrical, but when it's going out, it goes out as chemical, because at that point the message cannot pass as electrical. It has to change to chemical so that it will be able to get to the next neuron that will carry out the message. So if you can browse it will be very better. In the body, the cells are joined together, like they are joined together. There is a way that they are together. So at a point, the message can no longer continue to pass as chemical. It has as electrical, rather it has to change to chemical. Then from chemical it will pass it to another cell, then to continue to go like that. So that's just that's about, we have two types of chemical. We have two types of neurotransmission, chemical and electrical. So that's just that about that. You can still do more to learn more on that types of neurotransmission. I don't want this voice not to be too long. That's why I'm trying to be fast and giving a short explanation. So now neurotransmitter. Said neurotransmitter. It's okay for you to, let's just make this very easy for ourselves. When you hear a singer, you already know that the person sings. When you hear a dancer, you already know that the person dances. When you hear a preacher, you already know that the person preach. A lecturer, the person lectures. So when you hear transmitter, it shows it transmits messages. Neurotransmitter, it shows there are neurons that transmit impulses. They transmit impulses. So they said neurotransmitter are chemical messengers in the body. Their job is to transfer signal messages from nerve cell to the target cell. These target cells may be muscle glands and other nerves or neuron. So that's just that about that. You can just remember transmitter. If you can understand transmitter, you already know that they are neurons. Neurotransmitter, they are chemical messengers in the body. They send messages in the body. So that's that about that. So let's talk about classification of neurotransmission transmitter, rather, based on their functions. So we have three here: modulatory neurotransmitter, exhibitory neurotransmitter, and excitatory neurotransmitter. So I'll be glad if you can read it on your own, but I just want to explain it briefly as I can. So excitatory, that's excitement. It shows that this type of neurons, they deal with exciting us, motivating us, encouraging us to carry out a particular action. They increase the livelihood. That's the definition she gave here. They increase the livelihood. That's the enjoyment the pleasures you have in carrying out a particular task. While the inhibitory, they decrease the excitatory. They decrease the excitement, rather. They decrease the excitement, the livelihood that one had to enjoy in carrying out an activity. And modulatory, this modulatory neurotransmitter, with the name alone is enough for you to understand it. They modulate the neurons, the signals, the messages that are passed across in our body, that they modulate the impulses that are sent to the brain, or they modulate the messages that are sent to the central nervous system. So they modulate it so that you won't be too excited or you won't be too sad. So that's what the modulatory neurotransmitter does. So you can read it again, then you will understand better. Now you have to know that we have types of neurotransmitter, and these types of neurotransmitter, some can be found in all of these classification of neurotransmitter. Some can be found in just two. The types now, some can be found in just two, some can be found in all of this classification. What I'm trying to say is that one type of neurotransmitter may function in modulating, it may function in inhibitory, and it may function in excitatory. An example of that is dopamine. So dopamine is let's read what she gave us. She said dopamine is an important neurotransmitter, just like the other two. It has a role in administrative function. It has control over our movement. It is responsible for muscle coordination. It deals with positive and negative reinforcement. It involves relaxation and sexual gratification. So dopamine, as I said earlier on, is found in, you can find it in inhibitory, you can find it in exhibitory, you can find it in modulating neurotransmitters. So you can find it in that three. So what dopamine does is that it motivates us in carrying out voluntary movements. It's under this dopamine, like the neurons that are found in dopamine, they are the one that causes addiction. They're the one that causes addiction, and if it is not well taken care of, it can as well cause depression. It can as well cause depression, and just like that, even this Parkinson disease. So the people that have it the neurons that are under the dopamine that is affected, so their movement is no longer the way it ought to be. So what this dopamine does is that you can find it in the three categories that we have, in the three classifications that we have. You can find it in them. So, and they said it has control over movement. So I think I already explained that. So now let's talk about acetylcholine. They said acetylcholine is the most abundant nerve transmitter in the brain. It is responsible for producing the effects of parasympathetic nervous system. It causes contraction of muscle. It is involved in the normal functioning of many glands. It controls many stages of sleep, especially the rapid eye movement, REM. It increases sweating. So acetylcholine, I would say, it deals with the motor neurons. Acetylcholine, it controls the skeletal muscles, and it regulates attention, arousal, and memory. So acetylcholine has a lot of work to do in the brain. It has a lot of work to do in our body. So it has a lot of work to do in our body. So, and it is a type of neuron that, I don't know, probably when they are teaching you sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, you'll be able to understand it. So it says it increases sweat, like it just deals with a lot of things. It's like I said, it controls the skeletal muscles. So then non-epinephrine neurotransmitter said is an important transmitter. It is an important neurotransmitter. Our IQ is dependent on this type of neurotransmitter. The neurotransmitter regulates our sleeping, dreaming abilities. It's involved in fight or flight response. It causes an increase in our BP. Similarly, our heart rate and blood glucose level are affected by it. So non-epinephrine transmitter, as they've said, it contributes to modulation of mood and arousal. It contributes to modulation of mood and arousal. So like this, the explanation she gave here, let me give an example of a person who sees a snake. So when you see a snake, your heart begins to beat faster than normal. So at that particular moment, if the fear is not worked on, if your heart continues to beat faster, then there are high chances that your BP will be affected. The person might have hypertension. So that's why norepinephrine deals or increases the blood pressure. So it can cause an increase rather in our blood pressure, because it deals with the heart. It works with beating fast of the heart. So because at the sight of a snake, before you either flight or fight, your heart will beat faster than normal. So if your response is fight or flight, anyone, it will still beat faster. So a person who is in a situation whereby it is not about you see a snake, maybe the situation is, let's assume a person whose parents who lost his parents will definitely be in a state where he either fights or flights. Yeah, the person might what I'm trying to say is that I don't mean the person will run now. The person can either fight that situation, like be strong, or the person will be afraid. So either of the two, the person might be, the person's heartbeat will definitely be fast at that moment, and that's why some people, they check their BP during that period, it will be very high and the likes. So that's just it about non-epinephrine neurotransmitter. You can read it. I think the explanation there is straightforward. It's regulate our sleep and our dreaming. It's just contribute to our mood and our arousal. So that's just it. Then gamma aminobutyric acid. GABA is an important inhibitory neurotransmitter because it decreases the transmission of nerve impulses, which reduces the activities of our brain. Lack of GABA neurotransmitter can lead to mental health conditions such as anxiety, whereas high level of GABA will result into sleepiness. So GABA is actual. It contributes, like, it's based on anxiety. Yeah, anxiety. So there is something we call the anxiety disorder. So if a person's neuron that deals with GABA, if a person's neurotransmitter called GABA is affected, so such a person can have anxiety disorder. So it says that it helps in regulating the anxiety that we have or that we should feel. So it regulates it. That shows it decreases. It's an inhibitory. It's not found in exhibitory. It's not found in modulating. It deals only with decreasing. Inhibitory. It deals with restraining. It's used with restraining some impulses, some messages that are passed across to the body. Probably the person has to be so fearful, or so it decreases the action that we ought to take. It helps us in making it okay. So lastly, okay, I think we still have two more. We have serotonin, and they said the hormone that keeps you high and happy is called the serotonin. It's very important to take very good care of our serotonin level. This is because our quality of sleep or our sexual drive and our memory depend on the calculation level of our serotonin. So the serotonin deals with it is an excitatory neurotransmitter. It deals with making us happy, motivating us, encouraging us. That's what determines how you enjoy things or the pleasures you received from things. So that's the work of the serotonin neurotransmitter. So they said it is important that we work on our serotonin. You keep yourself happy because a person that is happy, you'll be motivated to do other things. But if the level of your serotonin is low, it may lead to depression, and you will not be motivated to do or carry out anything. So glutamate neurotransmitter, it is an excitatory neurotransmitter. It is important in memory, cognition, and mood regulation. So glutamate neurotransmitter deals with memory, cognition, that's our thinking pattern, our mood regulation. Excess glutamate in the brain is believed can cause pain amplification, anxiety, and restlessness. So glutamate neurotransmitter It helps in memory, cognition, and mood regulation. And if it is much, it can amplify pains. It can amplify pains and it can cause anxiety and restlessness. The thing about this neurotransmitter is they're having similar symptoms. If something is wrong with one, it might be similar to what, like they're having similar symptoms. So just try and understand it by the way you can. Either just use an example like serotonin. You can say serotonin for happiness, then glutamate for memory and mood regulation. Then you can just pick them like that, pick them like that, pick them like that. You don't have to pack everything in your head. Just know one of their functions and you'll be able to write on it. So that's just if you're able to know, okay, using serotonin as an example that deals with happiness, you should be able to reason, okay, happiness deals with motivation. It motivates us, it encourages us. So then it shows that if a person is not happy, that's if a person's serotonin is not happy, so those are the things you just write. What will happen to the person if the person's serotonin level is low and if the level is high? Just write something like that. Same thing applicable to glutamate neurotransmitter, that's memory and mood regulation, or thinking pattern, that's cognition. So if something is wrong with the glutamate neurotransmitter, what will happen to the person? And if it is not in excess, what will happen to the person? So those are the things that you just have to write pertaining to the types of you write what they do, their function, and if they are, if it is excess or if it's decreased, if the level is high, if the level is low, what will happen? So those are just the things you have to know and you'll be able to write well during your exams. I don't know if this will be OBJ or sub OBJ, but anyone that it comes, or theory, I don't know, but whatever it is that comes, if you're able to follow these voices that I've given, you should be able to write and understand it. And so that would just be all. The major thing I think you should do is understand the words neurotransmission, neurotransmitter, chemical, electrical, functions, exhibitory, inhibitory, modulatory, then the types, acetylcholine, dopamine, and just like that, and you will find it very easy to understand. So that will be all about the neuron transmission. Sorry for making this long voice note or long voice record. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching to the end. Thank you for watching to the end. And thank you for watching to the end. I hope you like. Please subscribe, share to your friend, share with your friend that need this. Hey, be a brother's keeper, be your brother's keeper. Share, like. Please do me a favor and subscribe too. Please share, like, and comment and subscribe. If you have any question, comment it on the comment section and I'll take note of it immediately. Thanks so much. I really love you guys. Bye.